Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer and moved to Arsenal. Back on base. Good internet. Yes. Whilst I was away, the internet, oh my God, man, it was terrible. You get back and you think, how good is it just to have internet that works? Fantastic. The show, of course, today brought to you by the guys from outtakes, the makers of these great T-shirts you can see here. I love this 1971 one. It's one of my favorites. Don't forget, if you want to get hold of one of those, the link is in the description. Jump into that right now and get involved. They've got a great range of Arsenal-inspired T-shirts. Now, on Arsenal, the transfers coming thick and thin. Could Willian be announced this weekend? That's what a lot of the speculation is saying. Willian will be announced this weekend, but the real interesting thing about this one is this report that is sort of out in the newspapers today, led by the Daily Mail. They're the ones that have come big with this story, that Willian could earn a staggering £220,000 a week at Arsenal. Unbelievable, especially when you consider the other day Arsenal laid off those 55 members of staff. Obviously, if this is true, you look on it and you think, what? 220 grand a week? I mean, that would be more than what Aubameyang is currently earning. Listen, we don't know if this is 100% because the story that is in the Daily Mail really does talk about a lot of undisclosed stuff. So it says that basically his wage is £100,000 a week, which is £20,000 a week less than what he was getting at Chelsea. However, what they're claiming is that when you factor in the huge undisclosed signing on fee that he's going to get, and you add on all the incentives and everything, it could bring it up to £220,000 a week. Now, I'm sometimes a little bit skeptical of these stories because, number one, I don't really see the full evidence. So first of all, how do I know 100% that's true? And also, it's if every single incentive is met over, the course of his contract. Now, a lot of times, if every single incentive has been met, he might be worth 220 grand a week, because that means he would have achieved absolutely everything that was asked of him over that period of time. But certainly, it's another one of his, what I say, real smart stories by these newspapers. They know that Arsenal are on the verge of signing him. They know the whole thing about them laying off 55 members of staff has really got a lot of Arsenal fans angry. And they know that, if this, we will be unhappy to hear about these wages. However, as I said, if it is true, consider those people who've been laid off, and and how they must be feeling when they see that sort of wages for a player like Willian, who's 32. As I said, there's no full evidence to this. I've really sort of dug into the story. I don't know. There's no real full evidence of it, but it is a big story out today. And Coutinho. Now, one thing that Coutinho's got in common with Willian is that they're both managed by the same agent, Pierre-Emerick, who seems to have a very big influence at the moment on what is happening with Arsenal transfers. You know what I mean? Cedric's another one of his players. David Luiz, who got a contract extension when a lot of people thought he wouldn't, is another one of his players. And as I said, Willian and Coutinho. And he was doing a radio interview yesterday, Drapchen, and he was asked about Coutinho. Is Coutinho going to be on his way to Arsenal? He didn't say he was, but he did suggest that Coutinho would love to return back to the Premier League. And obviously, Arsenal have been one of those clubs in the Premier League that's been heavily linked with him. But he did say that yesterday, that Coutinho would like a return back to the Premier League, but there's still a lot of things to be sorted out. Of course, Bayern Munich still in the Champions League. They're playing Barcelona tonight. Very interesting for Coutinho, considering that he's a Barcelona player in reality. But until the Champions League's over, I don't think we're going to get much more information on this one. because he's got a, you know, he came on the other day and played in that game, so he's still got a part to play. Kia Drapchin was also asked about Joelson Fernandes, another guy that also been heavily linked with, described in Portugal as the new Ronaldo. He's only 17 and has been, you know, according to reports, been subject to 2 Arsenal bids. Now, according to Kia Drapchin, he said all of this is nonsense. He said Arsenal are not trying to buy Joelson Fernandes. There's been no contact whatsoever. And yeah, just basically said this is, you know, this is news to him and it's his player again. You know, he's got a lot of players he has. And that's what I said, a lot of influence around the place. But he's saying that there's been no contact from Arsenal regarding Joelson Fernandes, which is crazy because, as I said, there's been so many rumours around these. It came out of the blue when it first came about as well. And as I said, you know, the rumours has been that Arsenal have had 2 bids for Joelson Fernandes turned down. But as I said, he's his agent and he's saying there's been no contact from Arsenal regarding Joelson Fernandes. So looking like that isn't going to be one that's going to happen. And that's, you know, as I said, real strange one because there's been so many rumours surrounding that one. But it's from the agent. Says no contact. Kia Drapchin, really interesting. And also, he had a real dig yesterday when he was doing that interview at Sven Mislintat, who, of course, used to deal with all the transfers. He spoke about Sven Mislintat making a lot of cock-ups and really sort of dissed Mislintat signings that he's made at Arsenal. I thought that was a bit harsh. Mislintat signings, I mean, when you look at it, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I mean, that was an amazing signing. And if any of Kia Drapchin's signings turns out to be anything near to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he's done well. Look at the other signings. Mkhitaryan, yes, he's right. That didn't work out. Mavropanos hasn't worked out. Bern Leno, though, has been a very good signing. That's been another one. Lucas Torreira hasn't worked out. Let's be real. That hasn't worked out. Stefan Lichtsteiner, awful. Socrates. Yeah, you know, for the money we paid for him, we knew we weren't getting a world-class centre-back. And Guendouzi. I mean, I know that hasn't worked out, but we'll be able to sell him on for a lot of money. And when was the last time we've been able to do that? So, I don't know. I think it's been a mixed bag, the signings that Mislintat made. But as I said, the Aubameyang one has been an amazing one. The Leno one's been an amazing one. Guendouzi, he was doing well, but he's just had problems off the pitch. And, yeah, Socrates has been okay. And Torreira's been okay. So I think, you know, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. And I think to say that he's made loads and loads of cock-ups, I thought it was a bit harsh on Sven Mislintat, but that is what he was saying. Gabriel, we've been linked heavily with him. Gabriel from Lille. The journalist Gianluca Di Marzio claiming yesterday that Lille have a gentleman's agreement with Napoli to sell him to Napoli. Now, remember, Arsenal said to be right at the front of the queue to get Gabriel. Manchester United were originally, well, let's just break it down like this. Originally, it was Napoli were the favourites to get him. It looked like he was on his way there. A deal had been done. He was going to Napoli. Then Manchester United were the club that came in and looked like they were the favourites to get him. And then since it's emerged that it's lots of people saying that he's chosen to go to Arsenal. Now, we know that Arsenal are big admirers, but as I'm saying, this report coming out yesterday from Gianluca Di Marzio claiming that there's a gentleman's agreement between Lille and Napoli that he'll be sold to Napoli, especially seeing as Napoli bought in Victor Osimhen for £63 million, and that's supposed to be part of the deal with the way he's sort of suggesting it. We're going to have to wait and see how this one develops. I mean, it's all right having a gentleman's agreement, but it also comes down to where the player wants to go. And if the player wants to go to Arsenal or Man United, or it's his choice, where ultimately he's probably going to end up. So, again, really want to see how this one develops out. I really want to see Arsenal get some of these deals completed as soon as possible. Now, the big one, the number one transfer target for Arsenal, of course, is Thomas Partey. And that was really interesting to see last night in that game, Atletico Madrid against RB Leipzig. How bad were Atletico Madrid, by the way? They were terrible. That was a really poor show by them, and RB Leipzig definitely deserved to win the game. But it was really interesting that Thomas Partey did not even figure 1 minute on the pitch. He was on the bench. I know there's been talks that he's had a slight injury coming into this game, but he was on the bench and he was an unused substitute. And when you consider that they were really under the caution, it was a game that, you know, they needed to win to progress in the Champions League, that was kind of surprising that he was an unused substitute, didn't get on. And obviously that's fueled a lot of speculation that, you know, basically Atletico Madrid didn't want to play him, didn't want him to get injured. It is their biggest game of the season, you know, and they didn't play him. Does that signal that he's on his way out? Will he be heading to Arsenal this summer? Or will he be heading elsewhere? I mean, Juventus are also apparently very interested in signing him as well. So he's got a lot of options, a lot of good options. Arsenal want him, but will they be prepared to meet that transfer fee? We know it's going to be, the release clause is 40 odd million pounds. Will they be prepared to meet that? That's going to be very interesting to see now. We're going to be able to get some clearer sort of, you know, views on how this is going to work out now, because basically that's it. The season's over for Atletico Madrid, and now the future of Thomas Partey can be decided. So let's see how it works out. But was that a sign that he's on his way? Finally, Mesut Ozil, the fallout of that continues. We're going to be doing a podcast today on it, me and DT. Make sure you look out for that. We're going to be talking a lot about that. So I'm not even going to go into mega detail over it. But, you know, I spoke about it a lot yesterday. Arsenal said to be very angry at the interview he's done for The Athletic, where basically he says he's not going anywhere. He criticizes the club heavily for the fact that they've just left him out for no reason. It's not footballing reasons. They're basically just trying to get him out of the club. They're trying to turn fans against him. He criticizes the club for the way they turned their back on him when he spoke about the Uyghur Muslims over there in China. Very interesting stuff he's had to say. Will he ever play for Arsenal again? Is he just going to see out his full year on the bench? Because certainly he's saying he's going nowhere. This is going to be something that's going to run and run. Not great for Arsenal all round or Ozil right now. It's a situation that needs to be sorted out. Make sure you check out the All Guns Blazing podcast. We're going to be talking about that a lot in that show. But thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily today. Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.